I'm going to call the Finance Committee to order, our December 10th meeting. Roll call.
Yes, Carol.
Here.
Manning.
Here.
Gill.
Here.
Glassburn. Burke.
Here.
Frank.
Here.
Williamson.
Here.
Cooey. All right, you have a phone.
All right. Verification of open meeting law compliance.
Yes, Mr. Chair, meeting's proper.
Okay. Approval of agenda. 10-point agenda. Looking for an
Second.
motion by Manning, second by somebody, Mr. Frank. Got that?
I got it.
Got it? All those in favor of approving the 10-point agenda as posted, signify by saying aye. Anybody opposed? All right. Public comment for the Executive and Finance Standing Committee. Seeing none, we'll move on to item 6, reports, administrator's report. Administrator Pat.
Okay, so what I've handed you as you walked in, as I said, the scale itself is public. The other sheet with the proposed placements is not public as of yet. We are still working with department heads to make sure that everything makes sense, that somebody wasn't put on the wrong grade or they're not on the same scale as their supervisor, things like that. So we're working through that at this point. But the good news is that in total, we set aside $804,000 in order to invest in our employees. And we weren't certain that we would be able to get everyone onto the new scale. We thought we may have to phase it. We thought we may have to get creative. The wonderful news is we will be able to get all full-time and part-time employees placed on the new scale with the money that the board approved in our budget process. So that's really exciting. So that is a 3% cost of living and placement on the new scale. With those funds, there will be about $56,000 that isn't accounted for currently. That's not enough to do steps this year, but that will account for any adjustments that we potentially need to make in the process here now. And then the plan will be then to put it in the budget for a cost of living and a step for everyone on January 1 of 2026. So Tessa gave me 2 scenarios of what could happen. The first scenario was the 3% COLA, which was a total of $386,065. And then placing everybody into the grid was $358,019 for a total of $744,084. And if we wanted to give everyone a step this year, it would actually have cost us an additional $356,924. So that is why, obviously we can't do it all this year, but boy, did we do a lot of good for our employees. So with that, I am asking for approval to place everyone on the new grid, understanding that there may be some tweaks to what you have in front of you, but they will be minimal, and we have the funds. So the funds will not exceed 804,000, whatever I've got in the resume. I have to look at it correct.
We need to approve this now to take it on the full county board coming up at 7 p.m.
Correct. We want to make sure that we can pay everyone on the first payroll of January. So that is why we're getting it now. I got this late Friday afternoon. And so we've been working feverishly. We had an emergency department head meeting to make sure that we got input. And we're hoping to get any further appeals and all of that taken care of in the next about week and a half, 2 weeks.
Just all keep us in our budget, Ken? Just all keeps us in the budget we have?
It keeps us within that 5% across the board that you all approved in the budget to create the pool. This keeps us within that.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Motion by Manning, second by Gill. Any discussion on the wage scale and grid? If not, all those in favor of approving the new system signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay. That part is done. 6 and 7 were kind of together, correct?
Thank you.
A lot of hard work. Item 8 would be any correspondence? Okay. Future agenda items for executive and finance. We will be meeting.
Sometime next year.
Next year, yeah. I'm sure we'll have that, but is there anything, Mr. Turk, anything that we need for
Specific.
our next executive that we can think of? No, all right. We'll get them. If you have items, get them to myself and I will get them to Clerk Daly. Looking to go on to item number 10, Mr. Manning, adjournment. Motion by Manning, second by Carol. All those in favor of adjourning, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. Moving that forward to the, you want these questions now?
No, because